Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So, in yesterday's class, what was the last discussion which we have done? Did we complete that problem?
Yes,
Which
sir.
okay, that late start and late finish problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, all right. So what we'll do is we'll solve a similar type of a problem in today's class, and we'll try to interpret the complete result. All right. What is the actual importance of early start and latest start? We'll try to compare that. Okay, so today's class objective would be basically that. Okay, um, so write this example. So have activity and the duration 1 dash 2 2 dash 3. So do not write until I finish this problem. Okay, I will just finish writing the list of activities, and after that you can just make note of the question. Is it fine? So 1 dash 2 2 dash 3, and next we have 2 dash 4. Okay, 3 dash 5, 4 4 dash 5, and directly we'll have 4 activities, that is 2 dash 5. Okay, so these are some of the list of activities which we will have, and so 1 dash. Okay, so these are the list of activities. You can make note of this. Yes, so you can make note of this. Duration, let us consider this time in month. So the first activity we will just consider it as 10. 18, 12, okay, a month, and 10, and finally, all right. So the question is, we are supposed to determine latest start, latest finish. All right. So that is the first question. Second question is also determine the early start and early finish. Early finish. Okay, for each of the activities. So this we are supposed to determine. Uh, so first we are supposed to determine the latest start, latest finish, and then we are supposed to determine the early start and early finish for each activity. But the only thing is that we can find out this only after determining the first question can be determined only after determining the early start, isn't it? Early start and early finish for each activity. Okay. So this is basically the question, and so we are supposed to determine the uh, so these two questions. So just make note of this question, and then we'll start the solution. So early start for each of the node has to be determined, for which we require 5 different equations. And similarly, latest start, latest finish also requires 5 different equations. So just in for the benefit of those students who have missed some of the previous online classes, as well as because of a number of reasons, possibly network issues or whatever it is, correct? So just for the benefit of those students, the online classes are being recorded, and it is being the link of the same is being shared with everyone in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so A section's WhatsApp group, the link is being shared. So just see that you are going through those links. So whatever is being done in the class, same thing is being recorded, and the link is being shared with everyone using WhatsApp group for A section. Just go through the same and see that you are preparing for the first sessional. The date will be announced. Okay, for the first sessional. Possibly another 2 more weeks. After 2 more weeks, we'll have the sessional. The exact date I will let you know. But whatever it is, take this subject as a priority and see that you're preparing for this particular subject. Okay. And always, as you are aware about it, first sessional is very much important for any of the subject. If you want to maintain the internal marks, first, first sessional is very much important, and see that you are giving utmost importance to the first session. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to the next slide, next screen. We'll start with the solution. One to two, two to three, and 3 to 5. 3 to 5 is 3 to 5. And similarly, we have 2-4 and 4-5. And finally, we have a new activity that is 2-5. Okay, so these are the list of activities, and 1-2 is a total duration 10, 18, and 12 and 10. Okay, and 2-5 is how much? 2-5 is 3.
3.
Correct. Is that right? So this is the project network diagram. So as I have already told, whatever may be the network analysis problem, whatever may be the type of this problem, the network diagram is at most important, and see that you are drawing the network diagram. Okay. Some marks will be allotted, even though they have not asked, you have to draw the network. Okay. There is no escape from drawing the network diagram. Okay. All right. So first, yes.
That 3 can also come between 2 and 5, right, sir? Like the straight line between 2 to 5 kept the
yes.
straight line. Sir.
Yes,
even 3 can come there.
You mean, yes, just a minute. You mean to say that you want to draw the network diagram in this fashion?
Yes, sir.
And 2-5 will be like this.
Yes, yes, sir.
And 2, 4.
4 and 4 and 5. Yeah.
That's right. Correct.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the network diagram both are acceptable, not an issue. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. This is done. All right. So Network diagram is done. Next, we have to determine E1, E1, E2, E3, so on and so forth. Why? Because we have to solve for the question first. Why? Because L5 has to be determined, right? So that is the reason L5 will be equal to E5, or that will be equal to the project completion duration. So whichever is comfortable for you, you can start the solution with the same thing. So one of the method for starting this problem would be by determining the project completion duration, and that project completion duration can be equal to L5. That is one method of starting this problem. Another problem is you can start with E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 calculation, and then you can say that E5 is equal to L5. Okay, so since project completion duration is not asked in this problem, so I will not waste my time in calculating project completion duration, but I will utilize my time in calculating E1 value, E1, E2, correct? So what is E1?
0.
0.
0. Correct.
0.
So, yes, so that is for all the problems. E1 will be equal to 0. Is it right? Means any activity that starts from first node, any activity that starts from the first node will have the early start date as equal to 0. Okay, so that is the interpretation. E1 is equal to 0. So whenever you are calculating the early start for each of the node, you have to see how many activities finishes on that particular node. For example, E2, you have to see which activity finishes on the second node. So while if you were calculating L2, in that case, you would have seen how many activities actually starts from the second node. Why? Because there you are coming from the reverse direction. It is from fifth node to the second node, or third node to the second node, or from the fourth node to the second node. So you'll be coming in the backward direction. Is it right? But right now, early start for each of the nodes, it will be in the forward direction. That is from the left side to the right side. First node will have its early start on the 0th day. Okay, what is E2? How do we formulate E2 equation? E1 plus
Duration of 1 to 2.
Duration of 1 dash 2. Okay, so E1 is 0. What is the duration of 1 dash 2?
10.
10. So 10 months will be the value of E2. Why? Because this is 1 and this is 2. Now it's very much important that when you're calculating E values, you have to see which activities finish on the second node. Correct? So that is how we calculate the E2 value. Next. I hope I'm not going fast. I'm not writing fast.
No, sir.
Okay. E3.
E2 plus.
E2 plus
Duration from 2 to 3.
duration of 2 dash 3. Correct. E2 we have already calculated 10 months. And what about the duration of 2-3?
Why 18?
18.
Correct. 28 months. Why this equation is because this is 2-3. So 2-3, if you have to see, E2 is 10, duration is 8. Okay, that is the reason E3 is equal to 18. Okay, so this is how we calculate E. So 2 more nodes and we'll be completing this. So you can just make note of this.
Sir,
Yes.
E3 is 28, right, sir?
Yes, 28. Sorry,
Oh,
E3 is
no.
yes. E3 is I think the duration I have considered it as 8, which is a mistake. It should be 18. That's right. Yes, thank you for telling that. That should have been. $28. Correct. E3 is 28. That means what any activity starting from the third node will have its early start date as 28. Okay. All right. So we'll consider all these things when we are writing the interpretation part. So towards the end of this problem, we'll write the interpretation. Okay. Now you just make note of these things. Okay, I hope everyone has written this. Next, E4. What should be the equation for E4?
E3 plus duration of 3 to 5.
3 to 4. Is it right? Correct. Am I right? Whatever equation.
2 to 4.
2-4.
2-4.
2-4. It should have been 2-4.
E2 plus
E2,
duration
sir.
of 2 to 4.
Should have been E2 plus. Correct. So should have been E2 plus duration of 2-4. Okay. So that is nothing but 2-4. We're considering E2 and duration of 2-4. So what is E2? 10. Correct. And duration of 2-4?
12. 12.
So E4 is equal to 10 plus 12. Okay. Next 22 months. Last one is E5. So how many equations are required for E5?
3.
Correct.
3 equations.
And should we consider the maximum or minimum of 3?
Maximum.
Correct. Maximum of the 3 has to be considered. Why? Because the project manager has to wait until all the 3 activities finishes, isn't it? Otherwise, the project manager just cannot start on the minimum day. That means the minimum value, whatever you are getting from these 3 equations, on that date, the project manager cannot start because the other 2 activities are still running. Is it right? So that is the reason we cannot start an activity, or E5 cannot be considered as the minimum value, but it has to be the maximum value. Okay. Yes. So E5 first equation is E2 plus duration 2-5. Next, Next equation.
E3 plus duration 3 to 5.
Duration. Next.
E4
E4.
plus duration 4 to 5.
Okay. So these are the equations. Next. So maximum of, what will be the first value? E2 plus duration 2-5.
10 plus 3.
Okay. Next.
C.
28 plus 5.
28, 5,
22 plus 10.
22, 10. So what is the answer? Maximum value should be
33.
33.
33.
So E5 should be 33, and E5 also can be considered as the project completion duration always. Okay. So E5 is 33. So so at least a part of 30% of the problem we have finished. Now next is similarly we should calculate L value for each of the nodes. Okay. So for each of the nodes, we have to calculate L value. Okay. So E5 is equal to L5, and from there we can start solving the L values. Okay.
So,
Yes,
do we have to calculate early start and early finish for each activity here?
correct. We are supposed to do it. Yes, I think I missed out on telling that. Only that what we have done right now is we have only calculated the early start for each of the nodes. Correct. Next, we will calculate the latest finish time for each of the node. Once both the calculations are over, a single consolidated table we will have, and we will start writing everything all together. Okay, early start, early finish, latest start, latest finish for each of the activity in a single consolidated table. Correct. So then it will be easy for us to write the. That is the objective. So for now, we will just calculate early start for each of the nodes. Okay. Next, we will calculate latest finish time for each of the nodes. Yes. So is it done? I hope everyone has understood until here. So we'll go ahead now. Latest finish time for each node. Okay. Latest finish time for each of the, first to start with L5 or E5. Okay, that means what? L5 is equal to E5 is equal to project completion duration. So all means the same. So that was how much? E5 was how much?
33. 33.
33.
33. Correct. Is it right? That means what? All the activities finishing on the fifth node, must finish on or before 33rd month. Okay, this is the definition for L5. So once L5 is obtained, L4, L3, L2, L1 has to be written on. Correct. So what we expect here is okay. So next. So L5 is done. Next is we have to formulate equation for L4. So what will be the equation for L4? In case L5 is 33, that means activity finishing on the fifth node finishes on the 33rd month. That means the previous activity should finish on by which date? Previous activity in a sense, I guess it is 4-5, correct. So 4- that activity should start. Okay. Before that, I think 3-4 is the activity. So that 3-4 activity should finish by
3-5, sir.
3-5. Okay. So which activity finishes on the fourth node then?
2-4.
2-4.
2-4.
4-4. Okay. All right. So next is L4 calculation. Now we are coming in the reverse direction. Okay. L4 calculation, we have to see how many activities actually starts from the fourth node. Okay. The activity that starts from the fourth node is 4-5. Okay, and now we are coming in the reverse direction. We know what the L5 is 30. And what is the duration of 4-5?
10.
Okay. Duration of 4-5 is equal to 10 months. Is it right? 10 months. Okay. So because of which L4 is equal to L5 minus duration of 4-5, which is equal to 33 minus 10, which is equal to 20. Is it right? So this is how we calculate L4. That means what we are going in the left to right. Sorry, right to left. For this calculation, we are actually going from right to left. Okay. In the previous calculation, we went from left to right. Now we are going in the reverse direction. So everything is reverse here. For L calculation, everything will be reversed. Okay. So what will be the equation for L3?
L5 minus duration of 3 to 5.
L3 is L5 minus duration of 3 to 5. Correct. Okay, I'm going for the next one. In case if anyone wants me to go back to the previous screen. Okay, so L3. L3 is equal to L5 minus duration of 3 dash 5. L5 we know it is 3. What is duration of 3 dash
5.
5 days.
5? Yes. So L5 is equal to 22. This is 5 months. So 28. Okay. So how many equations do we require for L2?
Two.
How many equations are required for L2 calculation?
3.
3.
Equations.
That's right. 3 equations are required for L2 calculation. And should we consider the maximum or minimum?
Minimum.
Yes. So minimum has to be considered for L2 calculation. That's right. So the equation, what will be the equation here? L2 equation,
L5 minus duration of 2 to 5.
duration of 2 dash 5. Next,
L3 minus duration of 2 to 3.
2 to 3. And
L4 minus duration of 2 to 4.
correct. So after simplifying, what is the answer? So minimum of. So what are the calculation here? L5 is 33.
Minus 3.
Minus 3. Next,
28 minus 18.
okay.
23 minus 12.
So what is the answer?
Answer is 10, sir. Like minimum.
Ah.
10 months.
Okay. So you have to get it as 10 since duration of 1-2 is also equal to 10. Is it right? So here if you get it as 10, then L1 also will be equal to 0. L1 has to be 0. Whatever may be the problem, L1 will be equal to 0. Okay. So once this is done, L1 will be equal to 0 and L1 will be equal to 0. And once that is done, next we list all the E and L values in a single place. And in single consolidated table, we'll have activity, duration, early start, early finish, late start, and late finish. Okay. Okay, so going ahead, L1 will be equal to 0. So this is it. Is it right? So once this is done, we need to have E and L values in a single place. So yes, so what was E1?
0,
Okay, E2,
10,
10, E3,
28,
28,
22,
22,
33,
33, L1,
0,
0,
10,
20,
28,
L3 is 28, okay,
L4, 23,
L5, 33,
33.
okay. So now we need to have a consolidated table. Just list all these things, okay? So I think you have all the values. So just list all these values like this before formulating the table. It will be easy for you to write the values. So we have different column headings: activity, duration, early start, early finish, latest start, and the latest. Late start and late finish. So activities are 1-2, 2-3, 3-5, 2-5, 2-4, 4-5. Duration are 10, and what was the duration?
18,
18,
12,
12,
5,
5.
10, and 3.
Okay. So just fill up these columns, and so just take 2 or 3 minutes and fill up these columns. Okay, early start, early finish, late start, and late finish. You can just refer the previous problems and tell me the answer.
So
Yes.
even if we write early start and early finish of each activity separately, it's fine, right?
Yes, yes, it is fine. Not an issue. There is no problem. Even if you write early start and early finish in a separate table and late start, late finish in a separate table, no problems at all. And now it is written in a single table because the interpretation has to be written, and interpretation can be easily understood if we have all the values in a single. So if anyone has not understood anything, you can just ask me or leave some message in the chat box. So we'll only write the answers and straight we will go for the interpretation. What is the answer for this early start?
Zero.
Okay. Next value for
10.
a early start.
10.
Early start for this. 10. Okay.
10.
Again 10.
Yes.
Okay. Next
28.
28. Okay.
22.
22. The last one is
10.
10. I believe everyone are getting the same answer. Early finish 10. Okay. Next.
28,
Okay. Next.
22,
Okay.
33,
So,
32.
Yes.
actually, 3 to 5 is 28, sir.
28, sir.
Actually, there's been some mistake while writing the activity. So,
Uh,
because of that,
So okay. So what should be the actual value here? 3-5.
3-5 is 28.
Uh, 3-5 is okay.
20,
think-
28.
There should be the value should have been swapped. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
2012 and this is 28.
28.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And this is 10.
And
Then
yes, sir.
the duration
10.
should be changed.
Which one?
2-4.
Even the duration, sir.
Durations have to be changed.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. 10 is right.
Yes, sir.
18,
Yes, sir.
12.
No. 5.
5.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
12.
Okay.
And 10.
10. All right. Now 3-5. Early start is 28.
Yes, sir.
2-5 is 10. Yes, that's right. And this also
Yes, sir.
should have been 10.
Yes, sir.
That is 2-4 should have been 10.
Yes, sir. And 4-5 will be 22.
So what about the early finish in that case?
First two are right, sir.
Okay.
3-5 is 33.
Yes.
2-5 is 13.
Okay.
2-4 is 22.
22. Correct.
And 4-5 is 32.
Yes. So these are the different answers. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Late start. So before that, late finish.
10.
10.
10. Okay. Next.
28.
28.
33.
33. Okay. Next.
33.
Again 33.
23.
23.
Last one is also 33.
33.
Okay. Next. Late start. 0.
0.
Okay.
10.
10.
28.
Okay. Next.
30.
30.
30.
And 20. 11. Sorry.
11.
And
23.
23.
23. So these are the different answers, correct? Now, with this, what we'll do is we'll just write interpretation for the 2-3 activity. Okay. Otherwise not 2-3 activity. Yes, we can start with 2-5. All right. So for 2-5 activity, can anyone tell what is the early start? What is the early start for this activity? 2-5.
10.
10.
Oh,
10.
and the late start is
30.
30.
30 minutes. So the project manager can start this activity anywhere between 10 and 30 months. Anywhere between 10 and 13 months. Okay. But the project manager cannot start okay, but the project manager cannot start this activity before the 10th month and after 30th. Okay, it's not at all possible for the project manager, at least not before 10, because the previous activity is still running. And why not after 30th month? Because that would delay the project completion duration. Okay, that is basically the interpretation. Any doubts here? So project manager can start this activity anywhere between the early start and the latest start. Okay, that is between 10 and 30 months. It is not going to impact the project completion duration. Okay, for I think rest of the activities, there is no much of the gap. They have to strictly start on the same day itself, because the early start, the latest start are the same. For 2-5 activity, almost there is a gap of 20 months. So there is a lot of flexibility available for the project manager. Okay. I'm just going for the next screen. But the project manager cannot start this activity before the 10th month and after the 8th month. This is because the previous activity, this is because the previous activity previous to 2-5 will finish latest by the 10th. Sorry, not latest. Earliest possible duration itself is 10. Okay. So you cannot start before that. Okay. And the project manager, starts this activity, starts 2-5 activity, starts 2-5 activity. Okay, that's this 2-5 after the 30th month. Okay, I hope this is understandable. Is it right? So that is the reason we determine the early start and latest start. And once these numbers, whatever is being determined, once that is represented in the form of the bar graph, project manager can easily understand a different concept, because what will happen is project means there will be n number of activities, and each time going through each of the rows in Excel sheet very much difficult. So if we convert all these things to the bar graph, it becomes very easy for the project manager uh, to have a control over each of that. Okay, so just make note of this. Start 2-5 activity after the 30th month. Then the project completion duration. Then the project completion duration will also be delayed by certain duration, certain period. Okay, is it fine? So this is why the project manager is keen on determining the early start and latest start. Similar is the interpretation for early finish and the latest finish. I hope this is understood by everyone. Any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, I think I checked the chat box. I think the answers, whatever given in the chat box, are also right. Okay, so class years can just give me the names of absentees.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and those who have already made note of this notes, they can leave. And those who are still writing it, I will keep the screen the same way, okay, for another 2-3 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.